right, here we go. Live. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome. I guess we could say this will be the first episode of Everlasting Syllables. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just get right into it with this one. I'm on lunch break again. Um, for those of you listening on Spotify, I know you can't see. So, as far as the footage, I'm rocking my clothing brand, and I'm also rocking the homies clothing brand from the neighborhood. Shout out to Scanlessville and True to Blue. Scandalous by nature from the neighborhood, East Side Riverside. Other than that, sitting here on this lunch break real quick. I just wanted to go straight into a segment of mental health. Mental health with men. So, you know, I've said it before in a video that I had posted, about a couple months ago. Basically, men we're raised and built up to be rocks. We're supposed to be these thick rocks, boulder like things, right? But at some point they're gonna crack. You know what I mean? And again, I'm just going off the head with these thoughts that are in my head right now. None of this is really written down, but basically, like we go through these things in life where we have to block out and ignore everything we go through, right? We have to get everything thrown at us, and it gets to a point to where it's like when you want to vent about it to somebody or when you want to talk to somebody, anyone about it, right? Everybody ends up having that answer of like, get over it, man. It's all right. It's gonna be okay. Or you should try this, and it's like minimal advice. Why? Because they're going through something too. So I got into my own little mind state to where, like, when I would want to vent to somebody, I didn't even vent no more because I'd start venting to people, and I could say like, "Dang, man, like I got a paper cut," and then they'd say something like, "Yeah, well, you know what? I sliced my finger with a knife." So if you're misunderstanding that point, somebody always wants to one up you, and I remember even here at this job one time, this guy was walking up to me, and he was saying like, "Yeah, man." Um, I haven't slept. And I'm like, hey, I feel that. I feel that. I have kids. He's like, nah, I just haven't slept. I haven't slept in days. And I'm like, oh, all right. I just don't sleep as much during the day, every day. I get a couple hours of sleep. He's like, yeah, well, I walked to work today. And I'm like, hey, man, I've been there before. Like, yeah, well, I walk barefoot. Like, he didn't say barefoot, but, he always had to one up me. And I don't know. It's like, in a sense of like us going through certain things, I feel like I don't know why certain people want to just one up you in a bad situation. Like somebody either wants to have a worse life than you, a worse situation, or they just don't really care. Like they're saying things like that purposely because they don't want to hear it. So it's like my thing. I feel like if anybody ever had an issue or a situation, which those who know me know, if they've ever needed to come and vent, they could always come to me and vent to me. Ears open always. It sucks though, because sometimes when you just want to vent to somebody and you want the right answer, sometimes you don't get that right answer back. You want someone to say something different from the answers that they're giving you. And understanding someone else's point of view is one thing, but to just hear their advice and like they're not even caring, they're not even paying attention to what you're saying, it shuts a man down for sure. It'll shut women down as well, but it shuts a man down because now the man's sitting there looking like, dang, why am I acting like such a little girl for? Like homeboy just said this and he had a good point. Why am I sounding like this for? Like now I sound like a little girl. Why am I crying about it? Get over it. But I feel like men should be going through certain things to an extent to where, yeah, you may not need to talk about it. Like I could stub my toe on the bed frame and be like, dang, stub my toe, I'm good. I don't need to talk to somebody an hour about it. But to like really go through things and really go through emotions and lose people in life that you love, having to deal with a really hard family loss or even a fallout with a friend or a relative as well too. Like those things need to be talked about, and I'd be willing to conversate with anybody about it, as we get more into these episodes. If anybody ever wants to chime in and conversate, we could do that too. And I'm open for that. This podcast, what I'm trying to do with this thing here, I just want to be as real as I can. I definitely don't know if it'll go anywhere. I'm not looking for fame out of this, but I have been looking for a way to speak my mind in my own way. I've always felt shut out. Every time I've started talking, people would either interrupt, and I get it. Everyone has to, get a piece. Everybody needs to speak their piece and say what they want to say and all that. So it's understandable. But with me, it's like I feel like there are some times where I got good points for certain things, certain situations to bring to the table for anything, work, just creative ideas, and a lot of it gets overlooked. And the funniest thing in some situations, not all, some of the situations, it's like something I had suggested, they'll end up having to do that in the long run. So like I'll look back like, hey, I did mention that to you before, but it's cool. I don't take no credit for it. I don't want the credit for it. I just want to be understood for it at the same time. Like you don't need to be like, hey, this is the guy who did it. But acknowledge that I had a part in telling you something like that. And that goes a long way for any situation. You know what I mean? And it could be an argument. Like I could have proved my point in an argument that you didn't want to see at the moment. But then a week, 2 weeks, months later, you're like, hey, you know what? You were right about that one situation, So I don't know, things like that. Again, with this one, it's like it's all off the head. I'm just blabbering at this point. So um, I love that. That's what these podcasts are for. I finally have a a voice and a platform where I could just speak and blabber. So for those of you that are taking the time to listen to this, I appreciate you fully, especially if you made it this far already. I don't want to make this episode too long. I just really wanted to get on here and vent. Plus, I got to get back to work in a couple of minutes anyway. Again, I'm here on my lunch break, so I see a couple of my coworkers walking out right now. Some of the guys, but maybe I could get one of these guys in here one day. Obviously not in my car. I'm in my car right now, but I do want to get a nice little setup to where maybe I could set this up outside for the guys and have a better microphone quality for you guys listening in. So that way we could get other topics. Men and mental health ain't going to be the only topic that I'm talking about, obviously. I definitely want to get into music and just being a little bit more realistic as far as things that go around me, So I don't want to get up on here and try to sound like any other podcast that you guys hear. Um, I definitely just want to be myself on here, I'm enjoying this first little segment, this first little episode. I'm feeling good. I am a little anxious, but I'm more anxious due to situations that are going on with me at work right now. So it's kind of it's a busy day. It's a busy day at work. So, there's a little bit of stress going on right now. So I feel like the anxious part of me is coming from the workload that we're dealing with tonight. And, just a couple things outside of work. Again, situations that I'm going through that I would love to vent to some of these guys about it. But just to sum it up, there's some things going on outside of my job that are bleeding into my job that I don't want to really blend together. You want to separate your outside problems from your inside problems of a job. And today they kind of blended a little bit, So I'm just trying to calm down. And I felt like I really needed to vent in a way to where I didn't really want to talk about my situation because I'm not really too ready for that quite yet. But I do want to start getting into like venting more about my life to, possibly a podcast like this or, to more people. But again, it's still, there's that little block that's holding me back to where like I feel like no one really cares about it, So, but again, just wanted to say this this podcast that I'm doing here, I definitely want to keep them going. This is kind of a little bit of a test run number 2, but at the same time, it's we could do episode 1. You know what I mean? I will try to have better angles. I'm still getting used to this as well. The test runs that I was running last week, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just rock with it. and we'll just keep it pushing at this point, you know. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go and end this one right now. But for those who made it this far, I appreciate you. For those of you watching, I appreciate you as well. And I will see you guys on the next episode. All right. Everlasting sounds, everlasting syllables. This is Taz. Peace out.